priest astronomer Berosus said that planets moving on different courses than today produced world catastrophe. In Greek, Roman, and Gnostic thought, this was ekperosis, a catastrophic meeting of the planets. But the memory of planetary disorder is echoed by numerous ancient sources.
Hello, nice to see you again. Today's episode is about it's not the sun. I will explain. Please hang on, watch the whole video, because on the end I have something interesting to share with you, okay?
Most of you already know this channel. Those who don't, this is a gentleman by the name Douglas Vort. He is the one that did research on what is causing the ice ages, and everything from his finding is about what the sun does. Here is a series of videos that he made and explain in details what this is all about, all the elements that are involved in this polar reversal. Mostly everything is pointing to the sun. All of those scientists agree on that.
Took 3 M-class solar flares and 12 C-class flares the last few days, numerous CMEs. Let's watch the entire sequence from May 21st on through to this morning. Our analysis yesterday showed that some of those CMEs are heading at Earth, setting the stage for the 3rd test of the solar cycle, and the calming solar wind and geomagnetic conditions are giving us a nice blank piece of paper. Their Enlil spiral now shows 4 of the eruptions. There were actually 6, but they indeed show them slowing and combining into one impact tomorrow. We'll see if that's correct.
All of those men have concluded that we are on the mercy of the sun that is causing the supernova or micronova, whichever way you look at it, and basically we have no say what is going to happen. A few days ago, Ben released another video which he is lining up all the elements that are supposed to be played during the polar reversal, and he kind of positioned them in sequence. To a degree, I agree with the way it's lined up. However, there are a few things that are missing. And later in this year, I am going to release my own video about the sequence and what to expect from that. I want you to see this video just to have an idea how much it is. Everything is under the impression that the sun is the reason by which we have to live by, that the sun is making the rules for us, that the sun or the galactic sheet is the one controlling how long we live, how long this whole cosmic existence lasts. However, I disagree with that, and I'm going to explain that in a minute.
Before I continue, I want you to see one more clip.
It's been a while since I've seen scientists remember that the mid-Pleistocene transition makes absolutely no scientific sense at all. For a while, the Earth was on a 41,000-year ice age cycle, but 500,000 years ago it switched to the 100,000-year cycle, and nobody really knows why. They still don't know, and whatever it was, it's on a grander scale than the 12,000-year cycle, the harmonic with axial and apsidal precession, and the 100,000-year cycle itself. It completely changed the behavior of the planet, if not the entire solar system.
It is interesting, especially the last statement from Ben, that nobody knows why the whole cycle changed. Well, it is very simple. The solar system as it is right now was not before. The positions of the planet after each micronova or supernova changes. Some of the changes are on smaller scale, some on larger scale. The one that had the biggest changes, what he's saying about 500,000 years ago, changed to 100,000 year cycle. The last cycle that ended, it was the collapse of Atlantis. The collapse of Atlantis was circa about 100,000 years, 80,000, something like that, in between. That's, I don't know exact the date, but that's when that happened. During the process of between the micronovas, there are always some stuff moving through our solar system. It's not constantly, the planets are not constantly in the same orbits. They change. In the work of Immanuel Velikovsky, you will find in his book The World in Collision that he is hinting that the solar system is never in the same orbits as it is right now, and it wasn't in the past. There are many elements pointing to that our solar system is going to change again. I know it's coming. I am going to include that in one of my videos about how this whole thing is going to unfold. So you will have a better, more complete picture. And again, I need to inform you that what is going to be presented to you is not only from me, it is from the council, and I am not just a guy who, I'm not a scientist, you know that already. I am just presenting to you what is being presented to me, and then I am trying to find people who already figure out this whole thing. They have evidence that yes, that's correct, and many things that I am saying, they were presented to me many years ago, and I had no idea how to find some kind of proof for me. But right now, more and more stuff is coming is being presented that I have enough confirmations on some of the stuff. Let's talk about this whole "it's not the sun" situation. In all those predictions that the galactic sheet is causing, polar reversal is causing accumulation of dust and gases and all this stuff around the sun, and once the ripple comes in, the sun goes into supernova or micronova. That is correct. This is the delivery system. This is not the cause of that. This is only a delivery system. I am repeating that. There is a reason for this. Our science is simply conducting scientific observations. They observe the effects, the symptoms, and then analyzing them, they conclude that this process may be repeated, and to prove that they derive all kinds of equations, which then seemingly prove them correct. However, they don't go far enough back to see what is really causing this whole thing. Universe is not something that is accidentally set up in motion by pure accident. It's a very intelligent being, a very intelligent place, very intelligent source, where every process is very precisely designed to accommodate everybody in that system. Therefore, the micronova that Ben is talking, or Douglas is talking, or people from Electrical Universe are talking, it's not something that is happening accidentally. Besides, there is no such thing as a time, there is no such thing as a past or future. There is something called the observer effect. Please go find what that is, because in all their findings, they are correct about the effects, how the magnetic sheet of the galaxy is influencing every star, and then within every solar system or star system, the planets are being affected by that too. But those are all only effects. It's a system by which the forces are being delivered. It is not a system that makes decision for itself or by itself. And let's take a look at the observer effect, so you can better understand that this is very integral and very important part of this whole process, which is missing in all of those research either by Ben or by Douglas or by any other guy, which somehow don't think that this is important here, but it is very important.
Some of you might be familiar with this observer effect. If not, please go and see some articles. There are many YouTube videos about that. Please go see that. Then you will have a better understanding how much you as a person have impact on stuff that you actually are watching. You are the observer.
The principle of observer effect affects everything, not just light, photons, or some nanoparticles. By observing something, you are affecting that. Because that happens, you understand that time do not exist. This is only an illusion. When we are looking straight at a certain event, to the right we see what may happen, and to the left we see what already happened. This is very confusing, but that's how it is. Everything is happening in the same bubble of time or at the same time. Yet the universe is giving us, this is very clever design, a glimpse. If you follow this path, this will happen, because this already happened before, when someone was applying this type of elements or force or whatever. So right now, since both men are looking for evidence that this happened in the past, the universe has no choice but to provide with all the elements prove their theories. Therefore, in excavation and geological findings, they will find those elements that prove that. If they were looking for something else, let's say they were looking for that something is happening every 60,000 years, that's exactly what they would be finding. The universe always accommodates, never discriminates. It always provides what we are looking for or what we are convinced it is. It's never making decision on his or its own, because it is supporting every single life form on this planet and in other places. And it supports everything. I already showed you before the image from Michael Clarish, a member of the Thunderbolts Project, about how the energy coming from the sun goes around the earth, collects all the needs and wants and send it back to the sun. Sun, by the same token, takes this and analyzes what needs to be given to earth back, and then there is either solar flare, solar hole, or whatever. There is interaction, but the interactions comes not only from the sun, it also comes from other planets, because we are interconnected with everything on the macro and microcosmos. Every cell of our body sends message through this collection. Once the energy goes around, sends back there, and it's being analyzed what our life form needs, what it requires. Since we live our life the way we live, and we are behaving the way we behave, that's what is being given to us. And each time we activate something by our actions, by our thoughts, by our saying things, the sun is delivering the energy that is necessary for supporting that. I have already alluded earlier that each one of us is a band. It's attached to the North Pole, to a band of frequency, which is our field of possibilities, and we only deal with the elements that are designed for us, for the individual, and we can only activate all the elements that are designed for us, not for other person. So the sun, when it blasts, that energy contains a multitude of frequencies, which is a band. of millions of strands of different frequencies, which then is being transformed and delivered to every plant, every insect, every animal, every human on different level of understanding, on different level of frequency. That's how it works. Since we are at the point where we already are unhappy, this Mayans already noticed that a long time ago when they were building all the temples for the sun, for the god sun, which is misunderstood completely because our archaeologists and anthropologists, they are saying that the primitive people that run around with sticks and stones build those monuments that today's technology cannot do. So there is something obviously wrong in here. Those guys, they understood that at some point when people are already not happy with the life they are having, the experience they are having, they start to be suspicious. And once they are suspicious, they start feeding the doomsday machine, and each time they are contributing to that. So for the past 5,000 years, we as a humans, we are constantly talking about the end of times, because the environment, the cosmos is not supporting our desires anymore. Therefore, there's going to be the end of times. And then each time we are telling how this is going to end. We have the horsemen of apocalypse, we have all the hell gets loose, and a huge amount of other stuff. The universe is picking those signals and it's arranging them in what is going to happen. Because my wish is my command. I know you heard that somewhere before. And it is going to deliver that. So if you are talking for 5,000 years about doomsday, doomsday it is. So that's what is going to happen right now. But not for everyone, because there is a very small number of people which are going to be taken out of this equation. Some already did, and placed in different conditions, and they will not even notice what happened. And it may happen to you, the one that is watching this video right now. I don't know, it's possibility. I will explain that in some future videos when I am talking about the missing ones and some other energy patterns that are associated with that. So as you can see, when you work backwards, who is behind all the galactic sheet, ripple, the solar blast, the polar reversal, you will see that even though those are all effects and they have influenced each other and they are only delivery system by which the energy is going to be delivered, but there is a place where this starts, where there is the cause, and the cause of that is you and every living creature on this planet. It's not something that is, as Douglas is saying, that there is a computer that regulates this whole thing and we have no say. No, it's you, except it's a different part of you. It's the part that for now appears that is separated from you, but it's not. You are always connected. You are just a different part of that. And for the time being, to experience the life the way you want it, that part is shielded from you. But when the time comes, the shield is going to fall off, and then you will see the magnificence of who you really are, and then it's like, oh crap, if I knew that, well, I am telling you that right now. Believe me, not many people like to listen to someone who is bringing the simple, the most effective truth there is, because it's better to believe in aliens, reptilians, Pleiadians, the list is very long, and all the conspiracies and what's not, because it's more appealing, it's more money-making, and simple truth where you know yourself and God forbid, you need to do something or work on this, on your wherever you want to go and wherever you want to be, that is a little bit inconvenient. All right. So I will end here. This there is another part that is coming, as I promised. I want to share something with you. I don't know how well you are aware of what is happening behind the scene, who we are, and all the mechanics involved in our existence. There is a lot of support that we don't see. Sometimes we ignore, even though it's trying to interact, trying to communicate with us. So a couple of weeks ago, I was in my timeout. And usually when I am there, it's some of the experiences are making me anxious. I was outside and I was looking up and I saw 9 clouds, but they were not clouds like clouds. They were only outlines of clouds. They were all perfectly the same. There were 9 of them. Some may say, oh, this is just a dream, you have no, how do you know that this is actually something that is being presented to you? See, I thought so too, but when you can feel the breeze of the air, you can smell the flowers, when you can touch things and you actually feel them, that takes the dream to a completely different level. So, what does this mean, the 9 clouds? From what I understand, from the feeling that it was presented to me, that there is a group of beings arrived here already, and they are waiting in one of the layers of our frequency, and they are 9 clouds. From what I understand, each cloud represents different frequency, and each cloud is for each individual. That means either we like it or not, Earth is something like a nursery where each group it's developing different skills. It's working with different frequencies. We are divided, even though we are working together as a group. But on the basic level, we are all divided. So those are the 9 clouds representing 9 different frequencies. Why 9? I don't know. But a few days ago, something even more interesting happened, and each time I look at the sky when I'm out, it really makes my stomach very uncomfortable. And this time again I saw, but this time they were much bigger. There were 3 of them. It looks like they are master clouds or master beings or whatever. They were huge. And what was interesting, that inside of each of that cloud, there was a letter C, capitalized giant letter C. I don't understand what that means at all. The only thing I know, they presented that we are already here, which kind of makes me anxious because that wasn't supposed to happen yet. That is supposed to happen in a few years from now, but apparently we are already here, and I am going to leave at this. I don't want you to wander too far, to be too much scared or having negative thoughts, because whatever is happening behind the scene is to take off the pressure, to make us all feel less anxious, to feel safe. That's why, I am guessing, that's why they are already here. Those clouds that were presented to me, this is in the form of clouds, but they are transparent, they have clear energies. This is like a fluid something. Yet, this is not something that came out of deep space here and is waiting in our space. It is a energy pattern that established itself in one of the Earth's auras or layers that descended from the higher frequencies to the lower. It is coming closer to meet us halfway, because some of us have no chance to accelerate our energy to the higher level to go back to where we came from. Therefore, the support is already here, just in case we need a helping hand. That's what this is all about. It's not that there is some kind of aliens came in and they settled the stations and gonna be picking you up. That's not what it is. It's simply the place where you were coming here is much higher frequency than this one. But since there is too much static and there is going to be more, therefore they needed to extend, bring this, descend this whole system closer to us in a safe, the most efficient way, therefore helping us to cross and be accepted in the frequencies that are in line with our desires. Once you are gone, when you go through the transition period, you will understand this much better, and you will know then what I'm saying right now, that they might be a little bit different emotional side to it, or you will see that a little bit differently, but the concept is the same. This is a support group that is coming here to pick us up and make the transition much easier, so there is less fear, there is less stress, anxiety, and so on. Besides, when things are gonna start happening, you won't even notice. You are gonna be the frequency is going to be such that the brain patterns are going to change, and really it's going to be a pleasant experience, not scary. Unless you want to, then by all means, when you are going to hang on to the fear of dying and so on, then there is no chance to override that. This is like an electronic device. When you put the switch to 20, then it stays at 20. When you put into neutral, then well, in the neutral you can go either way, but if you are on 20, that's it, it's on 20. So if you exude a lot of fear, then very unlikely this is going to change, it's going to stay that way. But anyway, so I am going to end this video here. My next video is going to be about, there are 2 videos coming up, or maybe 3, about the missing ones, because with those missing ones, I'm going to explain a little bit more about the energy patterns and what is actually happening behind the scene. It's going to be much easier to use those missing people cases to explain that. Then I'm going to, one of the videos is going to be about my own personal experience with that, and then I'm going to go back to explaining the whole polar reversal and what is happening in the world, because the forces, what is happening right now on the political level and environmental level, you need to be aware as well, because it's going to be a freaky stuff going on. Alright, so please subscribe if you didn't yet. Please share this video, please like this video, and leave me a comment, especially if you did the test. I know you may not even try it, you may think that this is pointless, but believe me, when the time comes, this saves you a lot of time. I did it twice, and I'm happy with the results. Alright, so thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.